Good afternoon, everybody. A little bit different look this time from Southern Tennessee weather. I am support meteorologist Christopher King coming to all of you guys here online. Elijah is at Bonnaroo right now, and so we've got some storms coming in, and so live coverage is going to look and feel just a little bit different, but it's going to be all the stuff that you need to keep you guys safe and informed. The reason I'm going live is we've got just a part of southern Marshall County right here that has officially gone under a severe thunderstorm warning. We've got a pretty severe storm in Giles County, and they've gone ahead and issued that into parts of Marshall County. And so the threat with this storm is going to be damaging straight line winds. That's going to be the threat with most of the storms today, just in regards to what we're going to see moving forward. Something we're also going to have to note and keep an eye of, we've got some storms up here to the north that are kind of making that trek down I-24 almost like they did last Tuesday. And so especially for my Bonnaroo folks in Manchester and parts here in extreme northeast Bedford County, you guys are under a special weather statement. Right now, those storms are strong, but they haven't reached severe limits yet. The most impressive storm right now, according to radar scans, is this one down here. And so what I want to do is just kind of look here and give some velocity scans. That's going to be the first thing we're going to do, look at some winds, and then we'll just kind of get a track on this to see exactly when timing is going to be, when it could be entering your area. And just so we all know, Giles County is issued by Nashville, and then when it gets over here to Lincoln County, it is the Huntsville office. So we'll have to see if we continue with severe thunderstorm warnings or do they go to a special weather statement. So just kind of give you a look-see real quick of the entire coverage area here for Southern Tennessee weather, let you know as I'm looking at the screen myself. We've got some really strong storms out there, a lot of rain. The lightning is pretty much contained back here to the back half of these storms, but Manchester, Bonnaroo area is getting some rain. Shelbyville is getting some rain. Lewisburg and just area south. Columbia, you're okay, but south parts of Maury County are getting plummeted with rain. So let's go ahead real quick and let's put velocity on this and kind of see where some of the stronger winds are currently. It looks like they're just entering over into Giles County. So probably they think that this storm is going to continue to maintain its strength. And that's why you see the warning issued there for parts of southern Marshall County. So let me go real quick here and start scanning here with the little inspector tool. And we can see some 60-mile-an-hour winds right here, right along Highway 64 seems to be where I would say most of that severe winds are right now, the pinpoint that storm. And if I go back and just look at radar for a second, that seems to be where the strongest part of it is as well. You can always look and see where you have those really high reflectivity returns where they are purples and pinks, and that's usually where your strongest, if not some hail, is concerned. Really, hail's not a concern as far as damaging hail, and so this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 3 o'clock, and it is 14:26 right now. So we've got about another 34 minutes or so on this, and then again, keeping eyes back up here to the north. So what I would like to do is go ahead and put a track on this part, especially for Marshall County. So real quick, I got to check my phone to see exactly what the speed was on that, because I don't have that in front of me right this very second. Let's see here. Pull up the severe thunderstorm warning. There it is. Alrighty. And that storm is moving at 40 miles an hour and east at 40. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw this line and go 40 miles an hour due east. All right. And these are going to kind of be some locations in the past. Some of these really aren't us. But more specifically, if I'm looking over here in this part of Marshall County. So I would say areas that are Nat Grove, Ebenezer, Delina, Cornersville, you are officially, if I'll zoom over here, you guys are officially under that warning as well. It kind of splits Cornersville, honestly. Let's see here. You've got Graball, Ostella, Archer, Yale, Luna, Tally, Brown Shop, And looks to be, if I look at the Nat Grove, let's see if it would even give me that one yet. It will not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get off of this one specifically, and I'm going to start to scan just this particular part of the storm, because that's the part that's going to clip Marshall County anyway. So we'll just do that. Let's see here, about 40 miles an hour. And here we go. Here are some areas that will definitely be. So Cornersville, let me get this where it'll get out of the way. There we go. So Cornersville, you're looking at 250. Trigg, you're looking at 247. Nat Grove, 250. Let's see here. So really close to about 3 o'clock when that part of the storm. The one that I'm circling with my cursor right here is really not the one that's of much use there. It's not the one it's spurring the severe thunderstorm warning. So we can expect that these storms right here will be within you here in the next 20 minutes or so. And again, you're going to see that really strong wind being the primary threat with these storms as they move forward. And so I can see with my setup here, because I'm actually at Christopher King Weather HQ, I can actually see your comments. So if you put them in, I can see them. What are your thoughts on the Rover Unionville area? Well, right now, none of that is severe. It's not even warned at this current time. So let me go ahead and get clear everything off here. So that's just good old rain. There is some lightning here that's kind of upticked a little bit, but none of that severe. So just a good old gully washer by Southern standards. What does it look like for the Bonnaroo Festival? Good question. Well, right now, Bonnaroo is getting plummeted with more rain that they did not need. If you guys know, it has been a muddy disaster out there. This is probably going to be, as most of these storms that you're seeing right here are going to be training to the east. So if you look at Bonnaroo right here underneath the ER, well, pretty much where that heavy rain is, and you look at it from this perspective, you've got, let me draw here. You've got quite a bit of storms that are going to be kind of training that general area. So right now, nothing severe is headed for Bonnaroo. I'm looking for lightning, nothing over there just yet that they would have any kind of delay, but it's going to be torrential downpour. So it's going to be probably not very good conditions to close out the festival. Yeah, it's pouring down in places. Let's see here, watching what's going around. Yeah, I think a lot of people are concerned with Manchester, and rightfully so. We have a lot of folks out there. I've had friends and family that's been out there for the past couple of days, and so I totally understand. And a lot of people do not know about us. So if you've got friends out there, if you're watching right now, and you've got friends and family that are out there, give them a holler. Let them know, hey, turn them on to us. I will be on as long as we've got severe thunderstorm warnings. When everything, if it dies back down to special weather statements, I'll come back offline. That's basically what Elijah and I both do anyway. And but still monitoring this storm, because this one in Pulaski, it seems to be still fairly strong. And so it looks like to me, if I'm going to go back and kind of center in on southern Marshall County right here, I'm going to turn this back over to velocity for a sec. And it looks like if this holds true, and let me circle it here, if these are the strongest winds in that storm, it looks like it may go more for Lincoln County, okay? So, they're already evacuating. Oh, that's not good over there. And I'm seeing some people saying folks are evacuating in Bonnaroo. So, looks like the strongest of the winds over here in Giles as they make their way. It may just ever so slightly kiss the very southern tip of Marshall County, that very southern extent. It looks like this may go into Lincoln County. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that as these storms progress. So if you're just coming in looking, oh, yeah, it's like this is a different look. Elijah's out at Bonnaroo right now. And that is exactly why he brought me on, and we're a team to go ahead and give you guys a little different coverage. This looks a little different. We're trying to make some different setups here. This is from my home, so it is going to look a little different. And if Elijah were to come on, he actually would be right above me as well. But he's out there, and I told him, "Look, dude, I got this, man. We're good. You stay there if you need to be needed there." And we're just going to continue with that severe coverage. So really and truthfully, the only part that is even severe is for that extent, basically Cornersville south in Marshall County. It's just a little sliver of Marshall County that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. Lots of storms out there, lots of heavy rain out there. Nothing else is severe thunderstorm warned at the current time. When we go back and look more of a bigger picture, you see a bigger line going into parts of Alabama. All of this is generally tracking to the east, so I'm not really concerned at all about that. You can see, I guess Elijah's over there in the chat because I just saw something. Yeah. So it is coming down in Lewisburg. Kayla, yes, it is. You guys are going to get trained with some storms. There may be, out of these anyway, some flash flooding that you guys are going to have to be concerned with. If you've got a large amount of rainfall that's falling in a relatively short time, that's definitely something we're going to have to kind of monitor, especially this general area. If I'm looking at it from this perspective, it looks like this area right here, if these storms kind of train over the same section where the red is, we may have to be really concerned about that right there. So that's just something to think about moving forward. But right now, the only thing we're really concerned with is, again, this very, 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 tip of Marshall County here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here and look and see. This one, that still has a special weather statement till 3 o'clock. So we'll have to see. Supposedly, this is going to move into an environment that may be a little bit more active as far as severe weather is concerned. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that as well over here on my end so I can see what's going on. I've got a second monitor that's above me that I can look at some of the latest data from the Storm Prediction Center to give me some shear numbers, because I want to see what the shear markers are on this. And so, all right, here we go. The cape, got some good cape on it. That's for sure. All right, bulk shear's at 22. Okay, so these storms are in an environment where I would almost say like pulse severe. You already see all this convection that's going to be overrunning. The concern may be really when you look at situations like this. The bigger concern could be more maybe this area to the south, because what's going to happen is typically these storms, it's going to be interesting when this one interacts with storms that are already in this environment. Did these storms up here in Manchester, Shelbyville, and Lewisburg, did they already eat up all of the fuel and all the ingredients that's necessary for storms to continue to be severe? That's yet to remain seen. And then you've got some storms where the coverage isn't so mighty down here in the southern part of southern Middle Tennessee. So, like I said, a lot's still yet to be desired here to see exactly what's going to happen. But I'm looking to see what, let's see here. Gotcha. All right. So they went ahead, and Elijah texted me something too. I think it's in the chat that they're going to be sheltered immediately preferably within 30 minutes. So approaching storm in 45 minutes, bringing lightning, potential 50-mile-an-hour wind gust. That's right. Okay, so I just noticed this right here. The Huntsville office has decided to go ahead and put this to a special weather statement. And so real quick, let's see what we've got going on here from Huntsville. Huntsville is saying, let's see here. Kind of read it a little bit. Gusty winds, and that we're seeing wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles an hour. So it's crazy that that's not severe limits, but I would say that all my people here in Lincoln County, Moore County, let's go ahead and get ready, because I think again, the strongest of the winds are going to head south. If I go back real quick and let's pull up velocity data, again, it looks like the majority of those winds are going to be kind of from right here. Oh, they did. They went ahead with it. I told you guys they would end up doing something like a flash flood warning or a flood advisory. So they went ahead and did that for all this rain that's kind of been hitting over the same spot, because these storms are moving generally about 40 miles an hour. And so again, looks like from Pulaski area, a little bit north of Pulaski, is where that strongest wind is. So looks like it may again just kiss, the very, very southern extent there of Marshall County. Somebody just asked, do you think they'll extend this? No, they did not. The National Weather Service did not extend a severe thunderstorm warning. They went ahead with a special weather statement. I can go ahead and put an indicator on these winds. So 57, 58. So it's right there. This storm is like right on the cusp of a severe thunderstorm warning, even when it moves through. So we'll have to see if these winds still stay pretty active. So regardless, that's enough to do some damage, knock down trees. So just keep that in mind. So this is not, I know we joked around a couple of days ago about a Dollar General severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be really close to a real severe thunderstorm warning. And you can kind of see with that latest radar scan. Let me go ahead and put some values on this. So we've got some 60-mile-an-hour gusts that are coming in here right now. So it'll be interesting if they continue with that special weather statement or not. But that biggest pocket right there is going to move right into Lincoln County. So since we are covering Lincoln County now, we want to make sure that you guys know about that. I'm going to go ahead and kind of extend this out. Let me make sure I've got the exact. Let's see here. How fast is it going? It's going east at 45 miles an hour. So I'm going to track this wind right here, the strongest part of the wind. So due east at 45 miles an hour. And these are going to be some locations that could be in the path of some of the strongest storms, or strongest winds rather, within this storm. So basically, Western Cyruston, or is it Kyruston? I think it's Cyruston. And East Cyruston would be 248. Pearl City is at 250. Molino's 252. Harms is at 253. Egam is 254. Camargo is 256. Elmwood Terrace is 258, along with Henderson Subdivision. Highland Rim is at 258. Howell is at 258. Highland Rim's Fall Subdivision is at 259. Madden Homes here is going to be 259. A bunch of those are at 259. So we're getting really, really close to being at Fayetteville right around 3 o'clock. So just kind of keep that in mind. Somebody said, are we expecting any tornadoes? Straight line winds are going to be the primary threat with all of this. Absolutely. We just don't have enough spin in the atmosphere today. Aloft, our winds are kind of blowing generally to they're westerly winds, so they're blowing to the east. And so there is some shear, which means with height that that the wind speed is increasing with height just enough that these storms will stay active. That's one thing you've got to have. We've got all the instability, but you've got to have enough shear. And right now that that bulk shear was set at 22 knots. So it's not the most impressive it can be. It's kind of mid. Being honest with you, it's kind of mid, but that's enough to keep these things severe. And so that's why they went ahead and upped this area specifically for a slight risk today. So that being said, this kind of gives us the latest and the greatest here of what's going on. Again, let me go ahead and pull this away and show you guys my Marshall County people. You can see where those winds, you can see where the brighter greens are. They are really in a point where they may be just going south of you, okay, which is good. And so I'm going to go back up here and look and see if they've done anything with this storm. Nope, they haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm going to go back over here to Huntsville radar, and so we can see the bigger picture going here. And so there it is. You can see even just on radar returns right here. Right there is where that strongest winds are. That's what I just scanned. And you can see there's where the lightning is. Sometimes the lightning is a good indicator of where the strongest part of the storm is. It's not always. I mean, there were tornadoes out in Illinois last week that did not have any really precip. They're called low precip supercells. But here, right now, that's a good indicator of probably the strongest storm on radar that's affecting us. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not getting rain everywhere else. So again, Fayetteville and points back, you're in the next 15 minutes for that. So basically all the way up to 231, and I'll do another scan here in just a minute. But if you are pretty much south of 64, so I'll show you exactly where I would say the corridor is. If you are in that corridor, if I'll quit clicking here, there we go. If you are basically the strongest of this is it's crossing over I-65 right now, and it is just south of 64. Headed into Fayetteville. Fayetteville, you got a pretty good storm, a lot of rain that's coming down 231 if you're traveling to or from Huntsville. But right now, that's going to be just south of the 64 corridor, and it's not quite entered into Lincoln County yet. It's getting there, and with the latest scan, it is there, okay? And so something to kind of take note of. We got quite a bit here going on. So I'm going to go back real quick because I just want to make sure of some things. Yeah, still that velocity, and it's actually increased a little bit from that last scan. Again, we're looking at absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see. My NOAA weather radio may go off. That's one thing you'll notice here at my house. I have my NOAA weather radio behind me on a shelf, so if it goes off, it's just going to go off. It's just those of you that have followed me for a long time over on my side, you know it'll go off. But that seems to be the pocket right there. Not to say we're not getting winds, some gusty winds down here in parts of southern Lincoln County, but they're gusty, but they're not what's considered severe, and that's what I'm going to kind of focus on because 67. Yeah, I'm a math teacher. That is where most of the most severe is right here. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here. So Taylortown, east and west, I'm going to say that Cy Ruston, Pearl City, Egam, Molino, those places I just said, you are in the direct path. And this looks like if this stays on the present course that it is going to go ahead and hit Fayetteville dead center. So let me go ahead and get a really quick track on that so my folks in Fayetteville can know what's going on. I know we got quite a bit going on, so let me go ahead and pull this out. I'm going to have to zoom out. Hang on. In too far. That's close enough. So Fayetteville, it's going to hit you about 3 o'clock. Okay. And then we start getting to Creason, Mimosa, Douglas going back. Basically, I'm really going to see this more. If I had to, as long as it's staying on a present track, it's going to take more of a dead east. So Mimosa is probably going to miss you to the north, Locks Mill, as you're going up Highway 50 back toward Lynchburg. It's probably going to miss you guys. It's really going to be centered around Fayetteville and the I-64 corridor. So once we get, again, down into the worst of it, looks like, again, Fayetteville looks like probably around 3 o'clock. So give or take a couple of minutes. So you guys have about 15 minutes to get your plan in place. It's not a tornado warning, not even a severe thunderstorm warning, but those returns right there are enough that to me would signify almost a severe thunderstorm warning. So like I said, it is strengthened a little bit, and you can see where the lightning is. The lightning is kind of centered over that area. Okay, so again, I'm going to zoom back out. Well, if I can keep clicking this, you guys know, good clicking on it. So I'm going to go back up to Huntsville or OHX just for a minute. I'm going to look at their radar to see what they've got going on. Looks like we got some more rain that's fixing to come into Manchester. So that looks like it's going to be training for a while. So I know a lot of folks in here have asked about Bonnaroo. Again, what I was saying, if you just got on here, what I was just saying a little while ago, we've got quite a bit going off to the east, and it's going to be training basically over Lewisburg, Shelbyville, Manchester. And so again, something just going to have to kind of keep an eye on. And I'm just looking to see what's going on as far as the NWS chat is concerned, because I have ability to look in that too. So that way I can give you guys the latest and greatest as to what to expect. As, of course, my AI was, I guess it thought I was talking to it. I was not. Love you, but no, not right now. All right. So, again, I'm going to go ahead and get back down here to look at the really the most concerning point, because that storm that's really up here in parts of Rutherford and going in over in extreme Cannon County there, it's really not made it to this part. We've got some storms up there at the north end. We got a lot of rain going on right now. About the only county right now that's not really seeing a bunch is Franklin County right now, and of course Maury County. I would say at this point, not going to give you an all clear yet, but pretty much behind this line, there could be some storms that are forming up here. You can kind of see them at the very, very top above Southern Tennessee weather logo. Some of those may redevelop, but right now nothing is concerning. National Weather Service said they're really not that impressive as far as the is concerned. So really, once this line of storms moves completely out of the area, we should be good to go for right now. And if I need to come back in this evening, so be it. All right, so I'm with you for the long haul. All right, let's go back down here and kind of look more kind of this picture. I think what I'm gonna do is if I can, let me close this off, and I'm going to, let's see here. I'm gonna go back down here. Let's pull in some radar scans again from the velocity and see what we got going on. Yeah, there it is. That's pretty easy to spot. It's that same little portion here. We've got, now this is above the surface. Okay, I want y'all to understand. It's going to be a little teaching lesson while we're looking at the radar. You got to remember, you know, the Earth is curved, and this is hitting up in the atmosphere. So some of these winds are making it down. Some of them are not, but that's a 72-mile-an-hour wind gust. So this is a pretty strong batch of wind coming into Fayetteville as we speak, okay? Elijah just texted me and let me know that there was a flood advisory that is forthcoming for parts of the mid-state. That's probably going to include Bonnaroo. So just you guys know that are out there. Best way to kind of look at storms right now is look at it from this view. I know it's different, but what you're trying to look for is the brighter greens. The brighter the green, the stronger the wind until we get over here, which is on the other side of the radar. These are winds coming into the radar site. These are winds leaving the radar site. So incoming is green. Outgoing is red, okay? And so none of the storms are severe back over here. So what we're looking at is, can we pinpoint where the strongest winds are, the strongest greens are? I'm going to do this as well. I'm just trying to look and see if I see anything here. Storm velocity. All right. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's the strongest part of the storm. The strongest winds are going to be moving, like I said, right south of 64. They're going to be headed into Fayetteville. So if you got folks in Fayetteville, tell them to watch us, or tell them, hey, if you're, because a lot of you guys are the meteorologists at your own place. You're the person for weather, right? You're the person that relays weather. So if you got folks in Fayetteville, let them know, hey, we got a pretty strong storm coming your way. Definitely may want to take a look at it. And so what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to close that because I won't see that. I'm going to try to see what I can see from our new Skycam network. And so, as you can tell, I wonder if they went with a severe thunderstorm warning here. They did. They should have. The National Weather Service in Huntsville, Alabama, has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Moore County in Middle Tennessee, Lincoln County in Middle Tennessee, southwestern Franklin County in Middle Tennessee, until 3:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. All right, I'm just listening to them. So anyways, they're going to go ahead. This storm has intensified a little bit. So as I kind of predicted, I was like, this needs to probably be upgraded. And we'll just have to let it wait and refresh itself, and it will be here eventually. So as soon as it is, it'll be there. But you heard my No Weather Radio. If you heard it in the background, I don't know how well I've got it turned on where so if you could actually hear it. But they are issuing a severe thunderstorm warning, and it is for Fayette. There it is. So it's for Fayetteville, pretty much majority of Lincoln County, and this does include Lynchburg, Okay, and yeah, right the very southern, excuse me, the very eastern extent here. And so I do want. There's a lot going on, so I want to make sure that we keep you updated here in the last like 3 minutes. Quite a bit has gone on. They've also issued a flood advisory, and this is going to go until 6 p.m. tonight. So definitely, if you got folks out there, this is probably going to test Bonnaroo quite a bit based off what happened last year. And so you've got quite a bit of rain that's falling here, none of which is severe right now. All the severe stuff is to our south. Okay, so we're going to continue with that coverage there, but there is a flood advisory. So just know if you're going to be out and about this afternoon up until 6 o'clock, low-lying places, there could be some water, especially if there's roads where we've got water over the roads. Okay, so just be careful. Turn around. Don't drown. It sounds like a geeky, corny dad joke. Okay, but long story short, that's what you need to be doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to real quick give another quick storm scan here from Fayetteville, so we can kind of see exactly when this storm is going to hit your area if you are inside of that particular area. Let me get the speed on it. So hang on. It's traveling. How fast is it traveling? All right, 40. All right, so it's moving east at 40 miles an hour. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to move this over here. Let's go ahead and get a scan of this entire sector right here. And let's go east at 40 miles an hour. So here we go. These are going to be locations that are in the path of this storm. So if you are in Three Oaks, it's hitting you right now. And so maybe the bigger areas, Kelso, that's going to be really southern Moore County right there, 301. Brighton at 303, Mulberry at 303. I know we've got some Flintville folks on here, so it's going to be at you at 305, Locks Mill at 305, Gum Springs at 306, and Sycamore Swamp at 307. Okay, so that's what's going to be coming your way here in just a minute. I'm going to go back to velocity for just a second and show you where some areas of concern are. So if I'm looking at this whole sector, still that area right there just south of 6415, that's where the majority of the severe wind is. You can see it. I mean, it's boom, it's right there on radar. It's easy to spot. We're looking at about 60-mile-an-hour winds that are associated with this, but we can also see some pretty gusty, let me turn this off for a second, hang on. We can also see some pretty gusty winds, not just there, but a little bit south of that point too. There's 49, 47, 47, 49. They want to be on this, that one says 59 down there. So maybe we do have some stronger gusts down there toward the Lincoln-Giles County line. So that being said, that's what we're looking at right now. So again, this big blob of the strongest wind has primarily just tracked due east. So, I mean, if you look at it from this standpoint, look at it like this. It's going this direction right here. So what part of you on the map? It may be that Lynchburg, it may miss you to the south. Not saying you're not going to get really, really strong winds and all of that. And speaking of Lynchburg, let's go right over here to the Skycam right now so you can see exactly what is going on in Lynchburg as we speak. It is coming a deluge right now, a big downpour there in Lynchburg. So if you did not know about these cameras, you guys, this is what next generation severe weather coverage looks like. Not only can we see radar, but we can actually see what is going on in these storms. So a pretty good little cells moving over Lynchburg as we speak. Not super impressive with winds necessarily, but just really, really heavy rain. And so that is kind of pointed, believe that may be pointed a little bit to the west. So we may be able to get to see that. I don't get to drive, I don't get to drive the bus on the camera just yet with that, but once I do, I'll be able to slide that around so we can see exactly what is going on there. And so that's kind of a look of what's going on there. Real quick, I can show you Shelbyville because some people want to know what's going on there. Looks like just north of Shelbyville in the Decent area, looks like we really don't have much going on other than some rain. And again, that rain is with that flood advisory. Also looking just while I'm looking at radar while you guys are looking at the camera doing a little shake and dance right now. It looks to be that storm up to the north that I originally said, hey, I'm going to be looking out for that. I'm not that impressed with it now, and it is going to go to the north of our viewing area. So they have a new special weather statement out for it, but it's north of Coffee County. It's really Cannon County and Warren County, so Woodbury area. All right, so let's get back into it. Bring you guys back in. We can see everything that's going on. So again, if you're just joining us, if you've been here for a minute, really the big concern is two things. We've got flooding possibilities over the northern half of our viewing area. That would be Grundy and Coffee and Bedford and parts of Marshall County, basically just a little bit north of Lewisburg and south. The main concern when it comes to severe weather is really Lincoln and Moore counties right now. So let's go right to that and go right back into that coverage. Just got to find wherever my mouse is. There it is. So let's go back to the velocity. Okay, so Fayetteville, it looks like it's going to go just to the north of Fayetteville right now. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. So Fayetteville to the north, that's those really bright returns again. So we've got some 60 mile an hour, not as strong as it was a minute ago on the last scan. So we just kind of watch it scan at a time. And so again, it is, just kind of look around. So anywhere, I'm gonna pinpoint it like this. You can kind of almost see it. I'm gonna draw it in red. It's kind of like this, where you see this little leading line like that. That's kind of where the strongest of the winds are. Okay, as that line pushes off to, if I could draw to the east, there we go. That a specific area. We do have that little sector right there that's kind of popped up, and we'll be moving into Lynchburg. When I said a minute ago, Lynchburg, it may pass you. That main stuff I've been looking at, but looks like some more intense wind has picked up just a little bit north of that original little blob we were looking at there in Fayetteville. So again, it's 3 o'clock, like I predicted. It's right there at Fayetteville. I think what we need to do is go ahead and put another little quick track on it and kind of let people know what's going on as far as the winds are concerned. So let me go ahead and put a little track on this. Let me zoom out. And it's still going at 40 miles an hour. So I'm going to draw this kind of weird looking to kind of follow that line a little bit. All right, so there we go. I'll move this over. I'll move this over like so we can see it. Move this in here like that. There we go. So here's what we're looking at. Oh, let me move it. Let me move it out of the way. So I didn't realize my head was in the way. I don't think you need to want to look at my head. All right. So here are the locations that are in the pack. Kirkland. If you want to go buy some pictures and stuff at Kirkland's, it's at 302. Henderson, Highland Rim. I've already talked about a bunch of these. Skidham at 304. Highland Rim Falls Subdivision 305. Park City Heights. So we're talking about right down there on 231, 431. 305. Westbrook at 305. Mimosa is 305. Southcrest Subdivision is 306. Southgate Subdivision is there. Let's see if I can click on this. I'll have to ask. Nope. Could not do that. Can I scroll it on the list? Will it let me scroll on the list? Nope. Won't let me do that. All right. So anyways, that's what we're looking at here in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so. And then like I said, these are going to be coming your way. Lynchburg, I really think that little cell right there is going to be coming to you guys, and I've got Lynchburg up on the cam, so when it comes through, we'll get a good look at that one. I would say Bakertown, you guys are in the path. You can see yourself here. Locks Mill, Beach Mill, Marble Hill, Herdlow, Creason, it's on top of you right now. Douglas, it's coming your way. Kelso, Champ, Lexi, Shady Grove, Smithland, Brightland, Flintville, Howell Hill, Prospect, all you guys right in this path, so you can see where it's headed. Strongest of it right now, the leading edge seems to be up here in the northern part of my tracking area, not the southern part right now. I went ahead and kind of drew that as the shape of the winds went. We got rain here on the Tullahoma side of Franklin County. Sure do. Yeah, it's raining there. It's raining a lot of different places. So it's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. I have a hypothesis, and we'll just have to see if this holds true. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm going to go back here to the actual reflectivity so you can see what's going on. Very nasty looking storm. A lot of rain going on with this as well. I think that for the most part, I think that I'm of the opinion that because this storm hasn't had a lot to interact with down here in parts of like Moore County, Franklin County, it's starting to rain out ahead of this line. But like I said, Franklin County, I said it about 20 minutes ago or so. You guys were literally the ones that have missed out on it the most. That's probably where this storm is going to track over into the environment where I would say we've got really the best chance of this staying severe. I really don't think at the current time that anything up here is going to be severe because this already is being kind of taken care of as far as these storms training over the same environment. So whatever instability, whatever conditions we needed for those storms to get severe, it looks like all that rain just may have rained it out. That will stabilize an atmosphere quicker than anything. The same reason is if you go up here, this one's still right at the same kind of intensity because there's an environment up here where it hasn't rained a lot, where it has here. So that's probably a good thing. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get a ton of rain, but if you look where all the lightning is centered around, it's really easy. Just look and see where's the lightning at. It's right up here. It's actually strengthened on this side. So let me real quick pull velocity on this and see what's kind of going on from the latest scans. So to kind of give you an idea of what's going on, you can see this. I'll let you go on. This is what I'm looking at above me. They are turning the camera there in Lynchburg to kind of look due west so we can actually see this stuff come in. Now, obviously with rain on the windshield, that's going to be a part of it, but this is going to give us our really first look of a severe storm moving in with our sky camera network, which is going to be great. So I have this right above me, and as it comes in, we'll take a good look at it, okay? So let's come back here, and again, uh-oh, my little thing stopped working. Hang on. Let me go back to my Sky Networks. Hang on a minute. He's turning the camera back around. All right. Oh, I guess it's decided it didn't want to work all of a sudden. It doesn't like me too much. I've made it mad. All right. Anyways, well, it'll just be a little black box over there. As a matter of fact, I may just do this for just a minute. Hang on just a second, guys, while I fix something over here on my side. Overlays. I'm just going to bring myself down. Hello. And by the way, I didn't mean to match the bar down there at the bottom. All right, anyways, let's just get back to it. I'll when I get a second, I'll figure out what the heck is going wrong with that. So anyways, we're still got this really, severe storm here. Looks like the winds are pretty much getting ready to approach Moore County as we speak. Again, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put a little dot on these, 48, 60. So maybe, just trying to see if I can't find something. Maybe that the stronger of them are going to be that southern side of the that warning, what I've been looking at there. So let's go ahead and let's see what's going to happen when I put a little storm track just on that part right there. So I'm going to do, that's not what I wanted, Christopher. I talk to myself a lot too. That's something you'll have to get used to. But 40 miles an hour. So these are going to be locations in the path here soon. So we're going to go all the way down to Winchester Springs area. So that's going to be here in the next 20 minutes or so. And then we just back it back up. So we've got, let's see, at 307, 310's Gaddis Liberty Hill. Herd Low is 312. Lois is 315. Hickory Hill is 314. Bakertown, 315. Marlboro Hill, 316. Ridgeville is 318. Beach Hill's 319. Brownington, sorry, because I was looking at Taylortown. Brownington is 321. Taylortown is 322. Broadview, so now we're getting over here on the other side of Timms Ford Lake, 325. Pleasant Grove, 327. And Winchester Springs, 328. So we'll have to see if this, in fact, still holds its strength. It has weakened some. Parts of it have. It's not near as bright as it was. So if I were to go back to the last 30 minutes and you see it kind of track this way, it's pretty strong. It's still holding its strength, but not as strong. It pulsed up right there. And so we're in an environment now where these storms could pulse up. It happens quite a bit. They'll get really strong, and then they'll recycle and regenerate, and then it happens again. So again, the locations in the pack there would be parts of really Lynchburg and south is where this is headed. So I'm going to look down here because it got some fairly strong winds sitting down here close to the line. Right on the southern edge, like right there on the Tennessee-Alabama line, going down to Hazel Green and Meridianville and all those places. It looks to be that we've got some pretty strong winds there as well. And I don't know if you're being able to read this through the comments or not, but Elijah just posted that Centeroo has been evacuated. Another storm is now bringing lightning and potential 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts for the next hour. And so they're wanting you to get in more permanent shelters, not out in your tent when you're camping. So just not a very fun time right out there, especially, 35-mile-an-hour winds is nothing when we're sitting here at the house. But if you're out there in the tent in the middle of Bonnaroo, it's kind of a big deal. So got some really strong winds that are really down here toward the south. And see, here's our radar. Radar sites, you can't see it, but the radar site's right here in High Top, Alabama. So this is getting a really good look at things. Really, really good look. So just trying to scan and see anything. There's some storm reports coming in talking about a strong thunderstorm over here. I will go over here and kind of mention this one. Let me go switch over to... So this storm right here in parts of, I would say they're saying extreme southeastern Coffee County, but really it's in Grundy County. There's a fairly strong storm that's moving around in Colmont, Grootley Logger, Tracy City. You're right there in the path of this storm. It's coming to you guys. It's not severe. It's a pretty strong storm with 40-mile-an-hour winds. So again, it's not severe strength, but we've got definitely some stronger winds. Probably there just to, let's see if it moves, right just to the west of Colmont is where the strongest part of that storm currently is. And that's going to extend through 3:30 is what I'm looking at here. So keep it up. Yep, good job with these good alerts. So I'm going to go back over here again because we've got until about 3:30 on this, and it would be interesting to see if the National Weather Service wants to extend anything. And so the strongest winds look to be moving into Lynchburg right about now. So I'm going to go back over to the Skycam so you can see what is going on there. Just a ton of rain right over Jack as we speak. And these strong winds should be moving themselves in here pretty soon. I can hear the rain here. It's not as bad at CKWX headquarters. But anyways, yes. They're just still talking about the severe thunderstorm warning here. It's remaining in effect until 3:30. So I'm going to go ahead right now and pull up velocity. I'm going to come back over here so you guys can see the radar and go from there. We've got some really strong storms and wind moving in. I saw a part of this kind of flare up toward the south. If you look at it on radar, you can see it just south of 64 toward the bottom of my screen right there. And I'm going to go ahead and get a little track on it Actually, I'm going to look radar. It's probably going to make it a little bit easier to do another track on this one. Huntland, you are right there in the path. It's about ready to hit you. So I'm going to do a little storm track. Just follow the line of the storms. We're going to go to the east at 40. And so here's going to be locations that are impacted by the severe weather. So I'll kind of, there we go. So we're going to say Bakertown was 315. I think we talked about that one just a little bit ago. Huntland, 316, okay? So that's going to be coming your way very shortly. Brown Mill, 318. Beach Hill, 318. Ridgeville, that'd be the northern parts there of Moore County. That's my old stomping grounds, is 318. Falls Mill, 319. Old Salem, 319. Winchester, this is going to be coming for you here within the next 20 minutes or so. So go ahead and be ready for that. We'll see if they issue a severe thunderstorm warning or just keep with a special weather statement. Well, that'll be something to kind of be interesting to see what they want to do there. So, and within here, these communities, so if I'm thinking about the bigger towns like Estill and Winchester, Deckard, Cowan, you wouldn't be there yet, but you're really close. I would say here in the next 20 to 25 minutes, it's going to be knocking at your doorstep. So I'm going to go back over here so you can see what's going on. It is coming down a gully washer now. Those winds and everything are moving into parts of Lynchburg right now, just downtown basically as we speak. That's what that initial wind looks like. You can really see the trees moving there. Definitely see them moving. Very, very heavy rain moving in. So you can get a good idea of what that looks like. That's probably some of the strongest part of this storm right now. I'm looking at it from a radar perspective, and that's about as strong as it gets. All right, so I'm going to go back to radar so you guys can see this, because I'm really starting to watch another part of the storm kind of pulse up, and it really is this section right here. This southern section going toward Huntland is kind of really, you kind of start watching where lightning is occurring. Where do we start to see, maybe storm strengthening a little bit when they get a bit more lightning? It is a kind of an indicator. So as I mentioned something about Huntland a minute ago, you guys, it's right at your doorstep right now. So I'll pull the velocity, and that wind's moving in there as we speak. And now Huntland would be on the extreme of that severe thunderstorm warning. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do, because this storm is now to the point where they've got to decide whether or not they're going to extend this or what. All right, so that being said, somebody was asking in the comments, what is Manchester expected to get right at the base? Bunch of rain. You have power. Please, we have power out. I could see that. Yes, South Lincoln. That right there is pretty strong part of the storm. Again, I was talking about that about 10 minutes ago or so. And so that was some fairly strong winds that were on the south side of this, sitting at 60. It says 64 miles an hour. Now, we know that all that's not reaching. I'm going to go back over here, and another thing they'll start looking at is storm relative velocity. And so 30, some pretty gusty winds. And with all the rain that we've had, especially you guys down there in southern tip there of Lincoln County, especially last Sunday, right? Ton of rain. So these trees are lovely. They're not super strong when it's been raining as much. They get soft, and so that's something to think about as well. So Huntland, it's right at your doorstep. Fayetteville's good. Somebody asked me about Fayetteville. It came through your area about 15 minutes ago. Just rain on the backside there in Fayetteville. I would say Fayetteville, as far as the severe thunderstorm warning, you are all clear right now. The bulk of that storm has just passed you. Huntland is really the next bigger city that's in the pass. So if you're out at Thames or you know people out at Thames, it is hitting Thames right as we speak. Some very gusty winds been out there on the water. The lightning is pretty much centered over portions of southern Lincoln County going into Huntland, and then it was right up there at the northern side by Ridgeville area in Moore County. Said power out in Mulberry. I could definitely see that going up Highway 50. That's where some of that strong wind came through not too long ago. So thanks for reporting that. Yep, you guys keep it coming. I can see it right off to. I've got another screen that sits right off to the left, and so your comments pull up so I can see them. Thank you guys for reporting. So as this little storm system is making its way, we've got to start thinking about Franklin County and Estill, Winchester, that 64 going back up into town, Belvedere, that specific area, and really Broadview out by the state park. That specific area all the way down to Huntland and almost the state line right now, as far as where we could be seeing some of that strongest wind. And so you can kind of see it right there, that leading edge right there on the back side of this. Some of this kind of gets messed up. It kind of with it has a hard time seeing through some of that with this storms right here on the front end. Yeah, it's falling apart. That's what they were talking about. Right here, it doesn't look like we've got those 60 and 70 mile-an-hour winds as we used to get. So it probably wouldn't surprise me if they decide to go ahead and make this more of a special weather statement now, because these storms have now moved in out of that watch or that box. If I go here, okay, so the National Weather Service just said that they're going to expire the severe thunderstorm warning at 3:30. That it comes straight from the National Weather Service Huntsville office. They are going to expire this severe thunderstorm warning at 3:30. And so right now they've not made mention of extending anything to a well, we'll see. Power just went out in Huntland. Got that one from a report here. So that storm and those winds that moved through Huntland, like I was saying a minute ago. So there's parts of Huntland without power currently. Bedford County, anything that's north of this, nothing's really going on. There's a little band of rain that's happening up to the north. So basically, the focus really is, for all intents and purposes, this area south. Up here, we got a lot of rain. We do have a special weather statement over here for a fairly strong storm in Grundy County, but it's not reaching severe limits. And so some gusty winds. So if it's getting ready to exit and go up the mountain, or it's already in the mountain, but it's up there, already past Greeley, Logger, Colmont, Tracy City. It hasn't hit you yet. Coffee County, just a ton of rain. Not what you need at Bonnaroo, but it's happening. Then you've got this over here in Shelbyville. So I'll actually do this. I'll go to OHX real quick, change the radar a little bit so we can see a bigger complex of storms are off to our north, but that looks like that is going to miss us completely. But again, none of it's warned. Shelbyville, Manchester, Shelbyville, Bedford County, Coffee County, Grundy County, all of these counties specifically are under a flood advisory just because of all the rain that has fallen. There we go. And so, again, you can see where the strongest part of that storm is. Tullahoma, we're getting a little bit just south of us. So I would say all of those folks right there that are on the Franklin County side of Tullahoma going south, that'd be my people in the Highway 130 corridor. You got Center Grove out in that area, North Lake, that specific area getting ready. It's plummeting down on you guys. And then you've got that really extreme part of the lake right north, almost kind of over, as it crosses over into from Moore to Franklin County. And then we just kind of go up and down this line. Winchester Springs, Eastbrook, Estill, you're right in line for this. Broadview, it is right at you right now. Okay, they went ahead with a special weather statement on this one, so they'll extend a special weather statement on this storm I'm just talking about till 4 o'clock. And so Broadview, Taylortown, Belvedere, it's right at your doorstep. Maxwell, Key Springs, getting ready to go up the mountain, up 79. You guys, or 16 rather, it turns into 79. But Three Forks, Hickory Grove, it's right in that area right there. That's pretty much what we're looking at, going up and down. And so if you see your cities, you are next in line for this storm coming to you guys within the next 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes if that. Just kind of scrolling up. They have officially expired the severe thunderstorm warning. It will, let's see here. Is it to go ahead and cancels it? Yep. Oh, no, they're just going to expire it. Gotcha. There's about 3,200 people in Lincoln County that are without power right now. So, Lynchburg, somebody asking about that. I'll get to in just a second. So, there's the line. Basically, what I'm going to tell you guys, the most severe part, let me see what this storm is moving at. Hang on just a second. It's a big old special weather statement that they're fixing to issue for this little batch of storms right here. It's going east at 50 miles an hour. So I'm going to take this leading edge like this because that's how the storm is moving. And we're going to go 50. I can't even go 50. I'll have to zoom out. All right. Due east at 50. All right. So this will kind of give us an idea of when things are expected to hit here. So Belvedere, 326. Dripping Creek Spring Subdivision 328, Dry Creek Estates 328, Lakeside Estates 328, Winchester Springs 328, Key Springs up there at the mountain 329, Three Forks is 329, Eastbrook is 329. A bunch of these are 329, whether it's Kissling Crossing, and then at 330. Okay, so Winchester in all areas in and around Winchester. That's going to be you at 3:30. So that's going to be in the next 6 minutes or so. But the good thing is the National Weather Service is not issuing warning off this at all. You can see right now where I'll bring it up. It is a special weather statement now. So basically what they're saying is that you could see wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour within this line of storms. So it is not severe storm criteria. It's close. It's weakened a little bit, which that's good as it's moved to the east. So we'll have to see if it decides to pulse back up again because that's what happened last time. So I'll stay with this a little bit longer. And I'm looking over here. Somebody said, how's Lynchburg? The storms have passed Lynchburg, so we are good from a Lynchburg standpoint, okay? They are gone. That's the good thing. Just getting some rain. I'm looking at Lynchburg on camera right now. All we're getting is just a little bit of rain up there. Basically, I would say if you are inside this severe thunderstorm warning box, you are officially out of the clear. You're in the clear, okay? This is going to expire in 5 minutes, and if you look at the radar, the strongest part of the storm has already moved out of the box. So instead of them canceling it early, Huntsville's just going to let it expire. So you guys just go ahead and you are clear and all clear over there. So I'll actually do this for a second. I'll go back so you can see a bigger chunk of this. If you're in Bedford County, I haven't talked a lot about you. There's some rain that's come through, but none of which is severe. It's just some rain. There's a little bit of a backside of this line right here. It's a little bit stronger, but it's not anything that's reaching any kind of criteria to be a special weather statement. It's just good heavy rain. Marshall County, talked about you a little bit on the front end, but all of that storm really moved to the south of you guys if you're still watching. In Maury County, bless your hearts, I didn't even talk about y'all today. You kind of missed out on all the fun. So really, truthfully, we got the tale of two stories. One, we do have a special weather statement that's moving out of our area, so I'm not concerned with it. Really, the northern tier counties, whether it be Bedford, Southern Marshall, Coffee, and Grundy. You've had a lot of rain that's been training over the same area, so there's been flood advisory. So if you are out and about this evening, please know that low-lying spots, you could see water over the road, okay? And then the severe stuff has been to the south, where less activity, less rain had happened over that area. And so by design, these storms brought in they were able to take in some atmosphere and some air that just had not been tapped by storms yet. And so that's why we had that flare up specifically when it crossed over into Lincoln County and went into Fayetteville. That's probably the strongest part of the storm, and it gradually weakened as it moved out into Moore counties and Franklin counties right now. So there's kind of a bigger look. And while we're thinking about it, what I'll do is I'll zoom out a little bit and turn on. You could kind of see a little bit where we've got some storms up to the north that are forming right here on the back side of this line. But none of these right now are even thinking about being severe. So we may have some more rain that comes in a little bit later. It's going to be more spotty in nature. This is the main event. Okay. This particular group of storms, this is the main event for today. And so that being said, just know that, these guys right here, we're getting to the point where I believe that everything's just kind of winding down just a little bit. You can kind of see bigger picture back up here. These storms, as they move in, may be an environment where it hadn't rained quite as much, and maybe they will reach some severe limits up there. But really, truthfully, not really that concerned with all of that, because it's not our viewing area. So, all right, here you can kind of see some things have really died out here with these storms. I think they've pretty much just petered themselves out, to be quite honest with you, which is good. They kind of pulsed up. Didn't have enough shear, enough wind speed aloft to keep these things going, and they just end up raining themselves out, especially when it comes to severe. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take just a minute, and as this expires, I'm going to kind of give you just a quick rundown again, and we're going to be done for right now. This may be it as far as severe weather coverage. If you've been with me, you've been with me for about an hour and 9 minutes here, whether you're watching me from my channel or you're watching on Southern Tennessee Weather. So a little bit different look today. I hope you guys were able to see everything, hear everything. Got a different look today at the weather. And I don't know why it's got two of those up there, but we got two of them. I just noticed that. There's two Duck Rivers up there. Now we got one Duck River. All right. So anyways, the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. So here's really what we're looking at now. We've got a strong storm capable of producing up to 50-mile-an-hour winds, gusty winds nonetheless. If I'm looking at velocity right here, not overly impressive now with these returns, okay? And the reason I can say I'm not overly impressed is simply because how close to the radar site. You can't get any closer to high top Alabama than some of these storms. So we're getting a really good look at the lowest level of the atmosphere, what's going on with those. So regardless, there'll be some gusty winds, but the main thing is going to be a deluge of rain. So basically 41A all the way down to 64 and all parts going into northern Alabama there, Highway 16 going into 79 in northern Alabama. It's coming a gully washer for sure. A lot of rain. Just know that there could be some ponding on the roads if you guys happen to be out and about. And that's really till 4 o'clock this afternoon. They'll probably let that one expire and move on to parts of Marion County. All right, so north of us, this is what we've got going on. So you guys in Grundy, you had a very strong storm move through. You've got some rain that's coming on the backside of this. You guys are under a flood advisory, okay? And that is till 6 o'clock. So please, any of the low-lying areas, even though some of you guys are in the mountains, just make sure that you're being aware of that, all right? To Manchester and my Bonnaroo people, let's talk about what's going on here in the short term. You are under a flood advisory till 6 o'clock. There's been evacuations. People have had to get out of there just because of all the rain. I can imagine with some of the mud that was out there what this looks like now. You do have a storm off to the north that will be making its way, a little bit heavier rain. It's not anything that would be severe. It's just more rain on top of what you did not need. Okay. In Bedford County, we're still under that same flood advisory, but really it's going to be Shelbyville and to the south and east of Shelbyville. Northern parts of the county, especially as you get back up here toward 41A. I'm talking about my Unionville people, Rover, all you guys. You didn't really see much out of this at all. But it really, all the action really happened to your southeast today. And then Marshall County, we had a lot of rain that trained over Lewisburg and Cornersville about an hour ago, and so they still remain to that area flood advisory to 545. They got it first because the rain started there first, okay? And so really a couple of things I want to look at here before we get out of here. I would like to see this, the last 3 hours, okay? So before we get out of here, you can see where all the rain has occurred in southern Middle Tennessee. If you remember, if you've been with me since the onset, I talked about that training effect that storms had. So if we go over here to Manchester, okay, I'm going to go to the farm. Let's go to the farm. All right, the farm's right over in this particular area. You guys saw the last 3 hours, you had about 3/4 of an inch of rain. Okay, we get closer over here, almost an inch of rain that has fallen in the last 3 hours, okay? Parts over here in Western has seen an inch and a half, a little more than inch and a half of rain, okay? So we move back over here. You can see the hot spot. Shelbyville, really parts to the west of Shelbyville, okay? As you're going out here on close to Bedford and Sim Springs. Let me click that off. Hit the wrong button. Hang on. Look at it. 1 3/4, okay, of rain that has fallen. 1.8 inches, 1.84 inches. It's quite a bit of rain that's fallen over the past couple of hours, okay? Go over here to Lewisburg, and we talked about parts south. Lewisburg looked to be the hardest hit here. So I'm going to go ahead back over here, just Holly Grove area over here by Palmetto. Lewisburg proper got about an inch. Lincoln Park and Whitehead area got about 1.63 inches. It's quite a bit. And then we saw that other storm that tracked to the south, right? So parts of Fayetteville and parts south here. Don't think you got as much rain. Got about an inch. And so it'd be interesting to see when it finally gets through Winchester what all those totals will be. So we're going to go ahead and close shop here. I'm going to go right back so you can get one more look at the radar. Some pretty nasty storms that are moving, but it's not anything that's severe. And really, these storms have kind of petered themselves out as far as the severe threat. We'd still have a special weather statement for about another 20 minutes. If something were to happen and another severe thunderstorm warning or something happens to pop up, I will come right back on. But otherwise, if I don't see you guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and just enjoy the rain. And I'll see you soon, okay?